Well, it's funny how male genital mutilation, once it's introduced, can go on for generation after generation. Now, I don't come from a long line of male genital mutilation. My father wasn't genitally mutilated. That's on my father's side. And my mother's father wasn't genitally mutilated, and nor were her brothers. But back in the 50s, when I was born and my brothers were born, there was huge pressure from the medical circumcision industry to have all boys in Australia circumcised. It was the done thing. It was the done thing by then, and it was there was enormous pressure on my mother to have us boys genitally mutilated. Now, when my elder brother had his first child, and I'd found out that that boy had been genitally mutilated, I tried to talk him out. Just when the next boy was born, the second boy, I tried to talk my brother out of genitally mutilating his second boy. And there were a whole range of arguments. One argument is, if both boys don't look identical, they're going to have mental problems. So whether that's true or not is something to consider. If one boy, two wrongs make a right, apparently. If you mutilate one, you've got to go and mutilate another one so that things will be even. So two wrongs are supposed to make a right. Anyway, I tried to talk my brother out of it. He said he looked around, and he looked up, because he'd never had a foreskin, and the doctors who'd mutilated him probably didn't have foreskins either. He said, the doctor says it's better, it's healthier, it's cleaner, it's more hygienic. He repeated all those statements a few times and looked up into his mind as he spoke for reassurance from his own mind and from everything he'd ever been told about it. He and, of course, his wife was subject to the same pressure too, back in the 70s, to genitally mutilate, because the doctor says it's cleaner, the doctor says it's better, the doctor says it's more hygienic, and it's healthier. So how would they have known? My brother had never had a foreskin, and his doctors most probably didn't have a foreskin, or they were at least into genital mutilation. So, how would you know if you'd never had a foreskin? How can you make all those statements, just like that? What my brother didn't know was, and it's all scientifically proven now, is he was cutting off 75 to 80%, somewhere between 75 to 80% of the most sensitive nervous tissue on the penis. And so he was giving his own child a neurological deficit. The brain is wired to connect to a foreskin. There is a thing called the preputial sphincter on the foreskin that is opened and closed by the brain. That's a sphincter. It's got to open and close, just like the little sphincter, whatever it is in the iris. You've got to open and close the pupil. It's all wired by the brain, isn't it? It is wired. The little preputial sphincter, it's just an example of neurological wiring that's cut off for life. I don't have a preputial sphincter. I have no ridged band. I don't have the glands that are supposed to lubricate my glans penis. It's all cut out for life. It's a neurological deficit. It's you're going to leave the glans penis all keratinized and hard. As far as I'm concerned too, you hear about foreskin restoration. You can't restore 75 to 80% of all that neurological loss. You can't put it back. It's gone for life. The glands too that secrete their own sort of lubricant for the glans penis. As I've said elsewhere, I have never known a genitally mutilated male who didn't, when he was masturbating, to not use lotion, so a lubricant of some sort. It is not impossible to self-stimulate without lotion, but it's going to be much more difficult without that natural lubrication. And yes, it's just ridiculous. You've got generations of men who have to buy lotion just to touch themselves, just to self-stimulate. And that goes back to the origins, at least in our society, of why circumcision was so popular, brought in Victorian times. It was to stop masturbation, wasn't it? It didn't, curtail masturbation completely, but it made it harder. It made it harder. It made masturbation harder. It's not impossible to masturbate without lotion, but if you're going to use lotion, it's going to be easier to succeed at that. And that's pretty appalling, to oblige somebody to have to use lotion for their entire life. Lotion or petroleum jelly, whatever. There's a whole range of lotions that can be used. Some are better than others. Some are more slippery. People try and regain, it's normal to try and regain what you've lost. A slippery sensation. There should be a gliding sensation between the foreskin and the glans penis. If you take away the foreskin, there's nothing to glide against when you touch yourself. There is not. Someone's got to say these things. I have to say them, apparently. No one else, you don't hear too much about it, about the fact that cut men have to use lotion to touch themselves. It's pathetic, really. But as I said, it goes on from one generation to another. I think it wouldn't surprise me if my brother's children, my brother's grandchildren, if his grandchildren, if his own grandsons have been cut as well. It became a tradition. It was introduced. It became a tradition. He didn't even know why he was doing it. He just believed what he was told, that it was better, it's cleaner, it's more hygienic, it's healthier. It's healthier. I've lost 75% of the neurology on my penis. It's gone for life. And I did it to my sons too. Male genital mutilation's good, yeah. See ya.